a bucket and a foul. Breakaway. Io.
Oh, meet me at the rim and don't be late.
Give me the hot sauce. Did you not get the memo? Derek Rose can go upstairs.
Oh, he's walked in. The steal. Right for the lead. Yeah!
Big time play. Big time play.
Gimme for the win. Go!
Oh, my God. I cannot believe this.
Improbable. Hey, everybody. Hope you had a great Thanksgiving weekend. Time for a brand new edition of the Gimme the Hot Sauce podcast. Stacey King alongside Timmy Whispers is here. You had a trade show this week, huh? How'd that go?
They're all week. Used to be the biggest one in the world, but it's a little bit small, but it's still exhausting.
Get some business done?
Of course, Mark. Except for that first day, the snowstorm.
Yeah.
A little rough.
Is it
There's
tough
a
getting
ghost
everything
town.
over there?
Yeah, and a lot of people just pulled no-shows and people in 24-hour airports and, just disaster stories. Some other partners that we had, a couple of women, their suitcases never showed up, so they didn't have any
that's
of their
never
clothes.
Ooh.
And so they just went home.
It's like planes, trains, and automobiles,
Yeah.
baby.
And Stacey was in Orlando. What was the weather like when you were there?
No, Mark, I wasn't in Orlando.
Oh, that's right. The game was on.
No, I
Yeah.
went to Charlotte and I went to Indiana, and then I didn't have to do the Orlando game because it was like on Amazon Prime, I think. And
Did you have to drive back?
I drove back in the
Oh.
storm. Me and Russ.
Oh,
Me and
man.
Russ, we drove back. We
That's
got,
planes, trains, and automobiles right there.
We had a driver take us, come pick us up, and we drove back through the snowstorm. I'm gonna tell you something, man. It was very scary. It was very scary. The first thing I thought about when I got out there was the Buddy Holly story.
Did you leave right after the game?
Yeah, we left right
Yeah.
after the game,
Yeah.
and I was just like, there was so much snow and ice on the road, and there had been like I think previously there had been like a 50-car pileup on the highway
65?
on 65.
That's tough. At dark
Yeah.
at night, no
Oh,
lights,
See?
man.
Yeah.
Oh, so we were like we were going 25, 30 miles an hour.
Man.
One time our driver, he got a little open field. He thought he was Walter Payton. He's like hitting 70. I was like, yo, man, hey, slow this down.
Slow it down.
I don't care if it takes us a week to get home.
Yeah.
Slow this down. He's like, oh, I'm sorry, Mr. King. I'm like, oh, yeah. No need to break out there on the ice because the worst part of the ice is when the slush is on the ground.
Yeah.
Because it's slippery. And we were in an Escalade, so I was just like, dude, this reminded me of the Buddy Holly story. When they jumped on the plane, they had to flip, and Richie Valens said they were flipping who got on, and Waylon Jennings, the country music star, was supposed to be on that plane.
That's who lost.
Yeah, and he lost, and he got off that plane, and he was able to survive.
Wow.
But it was really scary, man. It was like that highway is dark at night, and there were so many cars on the side of the road because a lot of cars have like either rear-wheel drive or front-wheel drive, and they can't drive in those conditions. So there was like at least 20 cars in on the side of the road that was just stuck. So it was pretty ugly.
I was thinking about Orlando. I saw on social media Chuck Swirsky posted a picture in his shorts and saying, "I hate when people when it's snowing in Chicago post pictures." So that's what he did.
It's not a sight I want to see Chuck Swirsky in shorts, okay? I'm glad I didn't see that, Mark, because that would have scarred me for life, seeing a 70-year-old man showing his little white legs and have church socks on. I don't want to see that, Mark. I don't want to see that.
With sandals.
Yeah, with sandals. I don't want to see that.
Well, obviously, you saw that game. You saw the one in Indiana. They should have won the game in Indiana, certainly.
Why are we going here right now? Let's just keep it positive, Mark. There's no positivity right now, okay? This team is not playing well at all, and it all starts on the defensive end. If you look at their offensive numbers, they're in the top 10 in offensive efficiency, the pace of the game. They're doing everything right offensively, okay? Where they are struggling mightily is on the defensive end. They are getting beat from the point of attack. They're giving up second chance points. They're giving up, they're getting beat in transition, getting back defensively. And defense is a want to do. It's not something that like, offense, you got to be a great shooter. You got to work on that. You got to work on your shooting to be a great shooter. Defense is like you should either want to defend or you don't want to defend. Because if you go back and you look in college, most of these guys either played 1 year of college and they really never learned the concept of playing defense, But guys who've been in college 3 or 4 years, you knew how to be defensive ready. You knew how to play defense. Remember Duke used to slap the floor and then you knew they were ready to get a stop. You don't see that anymore. Guys are not being taught how to play defense. And when they get to the pro level, they just seem like, well, that was college. I don't have to play defense now. No, you have to play defense now. And when you're getting gouged the way they're getting gouged, like something has to give. And one or two things have to happen, Mark. Either they're going to have to stop the switching on defense because the switching is killing them, or Billy's going to have to hold players accountable defensively and say, listen, you're getting beat every single time down the floor. You're killing us. You got to sit down. You got to sit down and take playing time away from these guys because you got a deep team. Even with injuries, you still have a deep team. Now,
well, they're not deep right now.
Well,
they got 7 guys out.
It'll help. I'm telling you, all these guys being out at the same time is just crazy. Mm-hmm. It's just crazy. I've never seen in general the whole entire league. I've never seen so many guys out with soft tissue injuries. It's like it's insane how these guys are going out, and it's almost every team has a guy with a calf injury. Every team.
We talked about it on previous shows. Steve Kerr says it's the pace of play. It's running guys down. That their bodies can't hold up playing that fast that many nights in a row.
No.
That's what Steve Kerr.
Let me tell you what it is. I'm going to tell you what it is. Their bodies are not conditioned to run that way because they're not practicing anymore. These guys are not practicing during the year because the games that they're playing. The NBA needs to listen. We've been playing this way since the turn of time. When we played during the championship years, we practiced every single day. Every single day. And he would give the starters he'd give the starters like, okay, come in and shoot for an hour, get some therapy, and then go home. Guys who didn't get 25 minutes in, you had to play 3-on-3 or 4-on-4, okay? But we did something every single day. These kids don't practice anymore because they have it in their contracts with the players union that they can only practice so many hours in a week. And so when you're looking at all these teams, it's not just the Bulls. It's every team in the league.
Yeah.
Every team in the league is losing someone with soft tissue injury every single night. Oh, so-and-so's out 2 to 4 weeks with a calf strain. I mean, I hear calf strains more than I hear anything. Mm-hmm. Giannis walks out yesterday. He's walking out, and you thought someone shot him. I'm like, sniper in section 117. And it was a non-contact injury. Someone scored. He went out of bounds. He walked back in and fell down. Now, some question, was that legitimate? Or is he trying
He's
to
out 2 to 4
trade?
weeks, the latest update.
Yeah, so was he posturing for a trade? Because that's been the big thing. That's what people are talking about now is that his agent is saying that they want to be moved. And if I'm Milwaukee, if I'm any team that has a superstar player that I paid $300 million for, and he's got years on his contract, you're not going anywhere. You're staying here. Okay? You can be disruptive all you want to. We'll just take money for you. We'll find you. But you are not going to leave unless we decide to trade you and it's beneficial to us. We get what we want. We're not going to trade you where you want to go. No, I want to go to Los Angeles, play with Luka. Absolutely not. If the Lakers have something that we want, that we can make that move, we'll do it. But if they don't, you won't be going to L.A., and you'll go where we tell you to go. So if New Jersey or Brooklyn has pieces that we want, you may go to Brooklyn. But you got to stop. The owners have to stop bending to the demands of these players because when you were wanting these contracts, you were happy to be there. And what you're starting to see now, and this is the Rich Paul effect. These guys play their contract through the rookie deal. They get their big money, and then they all of a sudden, I want to be traded. Because you're only going to get the maximum money on the team that you currently play for. If you got traded before you sign a contract, you can only make so much on the other team. So what they do is they play their, let's say 76ers. Let's use them as an example. They play, they get the big money deal, and then they ask to be traded. Ben Simmons. I got my big money. I know I can get my money with Philly. Now I got my money. Now I want to be traded. And then Philadelphia is forced to move him. I'm not moving you. You're staying.
Yeah, but the Giannis situation is a little bit different because this is his 13th season in Milwaukee. He was drafted as a teenager out of Greece, a skinny kid who needed to develop. Milwaukee nurtured him. They showed him a lot of love. He showed a lot of love back. He brought them their first championship in 50 years when they won the title in 2021. He's been a great citizen all the way around. I think this is a situation where he wants to win, have a chance to win one more title before he retires. And Milwaukee has descended so far with all the moves they've made to try to put a winning team around him. They have no draft picks. Damian Lillard got hurt. He's going to be out for all this year, so they dropped him, brought in Miles Turner. The team has decayed so bad around him. In my opinion, Milwaukee would be better off trading him, getting 5 first-round picks and a couple of young players.
Well, you have to also understand this too, Mark. the people they have on that team is he wanted those people on the team. They went out and got Damian Lillard because he wanted Damian Lillard.
Right.
Okay. So all the moves, and he got rid of a point guard that helped you win a championship in Drew Holiday.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're starting to be, he's starting to be, like kind of like LeBron. GM Giannis. I want this guy. I want this guy. I want this guy around me. They go out and go get him. I want my brother on the team. Get your brother on the team. I want my little brother on the team. I want my mom in there cooking Greek food in the kitchen. I want everybody. I want all the people I know. I want on my team. They went out and go do that. So
they've done that.
Now you got what you wanted, and now you owe it to the team to be the best basketball player in the world that you're capable of being. And you, as a superstar player, you have to elevate these guys' game. You asked for these people. You wanted them here. We went and got them. So now, as a superstar player, how do you elevate this team? You can't elevate guys if you're the guy that has to take every single shot. You're the guy that gets the ball in your hands. You're being the point guard. Damian Lillard is going to be a Hall of Fame point guard when it's said and done. You're taking the ball out of his hands and letting Giannis bring the ball up and basically do whatever he wants to do. Guys don't want to play like that. Your team is not going to win if your one guy is ball dominant. The isolation game is over. Teams are not winning being, having one guy isolate and dominate the basketball. It's just not happening. That's why they're losing.
But the team got old around him. Brooke Lopez got old. Chris Middleton broke down, so they had to trade him.
And that's a normal situation.
Yeah, it's the way it works.
Then you trade those guys, and you replace them with younger people. See, the formula for him should have been he needs shooters around him. Okay?
Right.
He needs shooters. So you put shooters around him, get him another big man like Miles Turner, which they thought with Miles Turner coming, it would give him a little flexibility that he didn't have to be the only rim protector. That we got somebody back there that can switch and guard point guards and be able to also rebound and be a rim protector to take some pressure off Giannis.
Yeah, but Miles Turner's on a milk carton now. He got his money and he's shooting 7, 8 shots.
For whatever reason, it's not working.
Yeah.
But how many stars have been there and it's not working?
Well, they brought in Kuzma. They thought he was going to help.
That was the worst trade ever.
Disappointment, yeah.
I would have never went and got Kuzma.
You know who beat him the other night in Washington? Chris Middleton hit 2 big shots late to beat him.
See, I would have never gone out and see what they should have done is they should have went out and they should have called the Bulls and they should have tried to find a way to get Lonzo Ball there to be their point guard. That's what they should have done. Once they knew Lonzo was healthy and they didn't, and Cleveland didn't have to give up anything to get him. The Bulls were able to make a deal with Cleveland. You don't tell me they couldn't have made a deal getting some, like maybe a Rollins or young kid that could come here and play with us. They could have done the same deal because that's what they're missing right now. You got Kevin Porter Jr. as a point guard. He's not a point guard. He's not a bad player, but he's a combo guard. He's a guy that can play. He can play a little point guard, but he's more of a scoring guard. And Giannis doesn't need a scoring guard. You need a guy that can facilitate and get guys in the right spots and get guys easier shots and make it more efficient. He was much better with Drew Holiday. Drew Holiday was putting him in position to be an efficient scorer. He had some of his best years with Drew Holiday. And Drew played defense where that's where they're really tanking right now because they can't stop the point of attack. And Drew Holiday was so good defensively that teams said, hey, we go away from this guy. You put it in his hands because you're not going to get nothing with Drew Holiday on you. So you missed that element of it. And, Middleton not being healthy, that hurt him too. Had he been healthy and that knee injury not, sidelined him for a couple of years, who knows what they would be in. But it is what it is now. You got what you got. And if I'm Milwaukee, unless I get something, unless there's 5 first-round picks, at least 3 of them unprotected, because they're getting a generational talent, Hall of Fame guy. He probably at some point is going to be probably the number 2 scorer in the NBA behind LeBron because he's that good. So, and he's still got a lot of years.
Where he's going to wind up? He's going to wind up in Houston because Houston's got Phoenix picks. They got young guys they can trade. That would be that they could make an attractive offer.
They could, but I mean, you would have to give up Thompson. You'd have to give up you'd have to give up some people to get him.
We're talking about Şengün.
I'm not giving up Şengün.
Yeah.
If I'm Houston, I'm not giving up Şengün because Şengün right now, arguably, is the second best center in the league right
Maybe
now.
on Jokic.
Yeah, he's the second. And he's on Jokic's heels.
Yeah, yes.
I mean, his post game is unfreaking believable. He's expanded his game to the 3-point line. He plays defense. He gives you adequate defense. And he's only 25 years old. I'm not doing that. I mean, if I'm Houston, I'm standing pat because I got a good enough team right now that if we had Fred VanVleet, we'd be a serious candidate with Oklahoma City right now as the 1 and 2 best teams in the league. That's where they're really hurt, right? Because they've had to have makeshift point guards. They played Thompson at point guard, Reed, Shepard at point guard. They have a lot of point guards by committee. But if they had Fred VanVleet there, they would be a legitimate title contender. But they don't. He'll be back next year. But they are still a very good basketball team with Kevin Durant, and those young kids are growing, and Sengun is a stud. And I'm telling you right now, don't be surprised if Houston doesn't surprise some people in the playoffs.
We've reached the quarter pole of the NBA season. Everybody's played about 20 games, and one of the big shocks around the league is the LA Clippers being so bad.
Oh.
What are they, 6-16, and they just told Chris Paul to go home.
Just go home.
Here's one of the greatest point guards of all time. Wanted to come back to LA, finish his career where he had his most success. In the dark of night in Atlanta after their plane got delayed, they said, Chris, we don't need you anymore. Go home. What do you think about the way that whole situation was handled?
Well, listen, if you it's hard to comment it because we're not in their locker room.
Right.
But if you know Chris Paul, you know it didn't sit well with guys, probably their practice habits, how they're approaching the game, not paying attention to assignments and detail. Because this is my last year. I came here thinking this team had a legitimate shot to get deep run into the playoffs. And if I would have known this, I'd have went somewhere else. And I think he probably was letting people know that in the organization, and they don't want to hear that, because you're past your prime. You're not the CP3 that you were 5 years ago or 10 years ago. So guys like James Harden don't want to hear that, because I heard it in Houston when we played together, and I don't want to hear it now because you're not the same CP3. Kawhi don't want to hear anything. Kawhi's like, dude, I done been to the final, I won championships. I've been further than you have.
Well, there's reports that CP3 wasn't even talking to Ty Lue, and that's your coach.
Well, because those two got into it, and there were some personal things said amongst the two of those guys in front of the team. And so Ty Lue took exception to that and basically, like, I ain't got nothing to say to you. Yeah. You're not going to embarrass me in front of my team, and because you're Chris Paul and you're a future Hall of Famer and I'm not, because, you start talking about careers. Look at your career and look at my career. Well, of course, Ty Lue's career is not like Chris Paul's. So he has no leg to stand on in that argument, but he could tell him, well, I'm a winning coach, blah, blah, blah. And Chris Paul goes, look at our record right now. What kind of winning coach are you? So now feelings get involved. And so, he wouldn't even take a phone call from Chris Paul. But the owner should have got in. Lawrence Frank, the general manager, he's never been a guy like I thought was like a take command guy, a guy that goes into in the locker room and says, hey, look, we're playing like crap. We're a better team than this. We got the talent to win. Losing Norman Powell hurt them. I think it's one of those situations, Mark, when you have a player sometimes you underappreciate what he does, the little things that he does. And you look at what Norman Powell is doing in Miami right now. Don't tell me he couldn't have done that with the Clippers.
He did last year.
He did it with the Clippers last year. He was a talent for them. And so they gave up on him, and now he's flourishing somewhere else, and they have not been able to replace his production, his productivity. So they're struggling right now.
Well, let's get back to the Bulls. I'm sure all of our viewers and listeners are wondering why. Let's talk more about what's going on. I mean, we're in a situation now where the Bulls hit this late November, early December portion of schedule, which is supposed to be easy. You're playing all these bottom feeders, but right now the Bulls are totally beat up. 7 guys injured, have been out the last couple of games. A couple of guys are coming back. Kobe White, Zach Collins should be back by the weekend, which will be a huge boost for the Bulls. But is that injury thing kind of cast a shadow over everything they're trying to do right now?
I'm not going to make excuses.
Yeah.
I can't make excuses because, when you watch the games, you see what's happening. Like this is the first time all these guys missed. Normally it's 2 or 3 guys out. This is the most I've seen in one big sitting. Okay.
Yeah.
The problem is defense. They can't guard anybody. They have no rim protection. They give up way too many second chance points. They give up way too many points in the paint. When you're giving up that many points and on top of it, Mark, they're turning the ball over at an alarming rate. And they're giving up like 20-something points a night off of turnovers to teams who are bad, who are not good defensive teams. So it's like you're getting 20 turnovers to a Brooklyn Nets team who can't even force turnovers, but they look like a defensive juggernaut last night. Until you
get Noah Clowney making 3-point shots when he can.
Man. Until you address the elephant in the room, and you just keep trying to, put dirt over it and then cover it up, there's still a big mound of poo in the middle of the carpet. And until you address it, it's going to keep getting bigger and bigger, and it's going to keep stinking. So you have to say, listen, guys, here's the deal. We're not going to switch defense anymore, because I've heard this thing. I always ask these coaches why they switch all the time. And it's funny what their thought process is. Well, we want to keep someone on the three-point shot, a shooter at all times, okay? If you watch an NBA game, America, okay, how many times are three-point shooters wide open, all these switches?
Yeah.
Every single night you will see wide open jumpers, no matter who it's from, they're wide open. And now you're starting to see more people shoot contested threes. See, back in the day, you didn't see people shoot contested threes. That means I wasn't open. Now they're jacking it up. They don't care if they're guarded by two people. They're jacking it up. But the problem with switching is it creates mismatches all over the floor. So let's just use a 1-5 pick and roll. This is Stacey King's basketball 1-on-1, okay? A 1 means a point guard. A 5 means a center. Say a 1-5. So a 1-5 pick and roll is between the point guard and the center. So as the center comes up to set the screen offensively, our center, our 5-man, is going to switch with the point guard and guard the point guard defensively. Now, common sense. A 6'3" point guard being guarded by a 7-foot big guy, that's a mismatch because the guard is quicker. The guard is going to break him down off the dribble, which now, when that happens, Mark, it creates a domino effect.
Right.
Because once that guard gets by the big man, and he will, because there's no Matombos out there. There's no Alonzo Mournings, guys who live to block shots. He will break that guy down. When he breaks that guy down, the guy in the corner has to come and get to the paint to stop dribble penetration. That could be the 2 guard. That could be the 3, the small forward. So when he leaves his man, he's coming to help. So then what happens? The big man still trailing from behind. He kicks it to the corner. Now, who's going to go get the guy in the corner? The big man is in position to run in a run and jump situation. He's too slow to get out there. So if it's a big man, that's an automatic 3. You're too late. Take this with you. Bam. Get it out the net. But if it's the guard or wing, he can get out there quicker. What does he do? He swings it because someone else went to go help while he went to the corner. So they swing it to the corner, back to the top, and then back to the top. Everybody's scrambling. Everybody's running around trying to figure out who they guard, and they don't know who they're guarding. So all of a sudden, wide open jumper at the top of the circle. They swing it from one side to the other. Wide open jumper in the corner. They got exactly what they wanted. Now, second part of that is if you roll the big man who says, wait a minute, I got Chris Paul on me. Why would I be out here shooting threes when I got Chris Paul on me? So I'm gonna roll him down to the paint like an avalanche, and I'm gonna post his little butt up like Raisin Bran, and I'm gonna ask for the ball. Give me the ball, mouse in the house, free cheese. Okay? You're gonna throw the ball to me. Because now defense is forced to double the big man because he's got a guard on him. It's small. So now someone comes down to help. So when you go help him, what does he do? He's going to pass out the double team. He's going to swing it. You're going to find a shooter. Someone's going to be open. And this is the defense that every team is playing. This is a copycat league. Everyone does what the new fad is. If everybody's switching, we're doing the same thing. How about trying to guard your man? See, when we played, and I'm not that guy that stands on the yard, get out of my yard. You know how they always say that about old school guys. They always say, they always say what we would have done. No, what we did in the 90s, in the 2000s, we played defense. It was personal. It was prideful. You played defense, and you guarded your man. If you needed some help, you shade him to a side. We'll help you when we can. But you got to stay between your man and the basket. It's not that hard. All you got to do is be able to slide 2 steps to your left, 2 steps to your right, take away a strong hand. It's not very hard. How about read your scouting report? How about read the scouting report on the people you're guarding? He likes to go left. He likes to take 2 dribbles to the right and pull up. He likes to take 2 dribbles, spin back to the middle, finish with his left hand. If you know all these things and you study your playbook and your scouting report, you're able to stop those kind of things or at least slow them down because it's not foreign to you when you step on the court. See, if you never studied it, you're out there looking, you didn't read your scouting report, Mark, and I'm out there guarding a guy who's doing all these Marcus Haynes moves and I can't take nothing away because I never saw it coming. I didn't know what he could do.
That's Stacey King's Basketball 101, brought to you by...
If you need me to come to teach you, I will come to your job. It'll cost you some money. Nothing's free. I will come and show you Basketball 101, Stacey King style.
Remember, it's a simple game.
It's
That's
a
exactly
simple
right.
game. Tim knows. Tim seen me coach. He's seen my teams.
That's true. And they
My
do.
my team's always, when I was coaching the CBA,
Turn them right around.
Oh my God,
You're like Patch Fitzgerald.
We went when I took over the team, we was 1-14. We went on a tear, Mark. We finished like 22-6, and got to the playoffs, got to the championship game. So, and it was all defense and convincing guys like to play hard. All you gotta do is play hard, just compete. You know, basketball is a kid's game. Like at the end of the day, we get paid a lot of money to play basketball. It's a kid's game at the end of the day. When you were in high school, you didn't miss games. You didn't have soft tissue injuries. When you're in college, you didn't miss games. You know, but now we get paid. Guys get paid. They feel like, you know, what's the difference between pain and hurt? You know, being hurt. There's a difference. Hurt you can play. You know, soreness you can play. If I'm sore, oh, my back's sore. Oh, my knee is sore. I can play through soreness. Pain's a little bit different because you may have a meniscus tear. You may have a disc injury. You know, you're not going to be able to play. There's only a certain amount of level that you can play with in pain before you say, I'm going to try to go, but I can't go because it's hurting so bad. But when you have soreness, we wake up every day sore. You wake up sore. He wakes up sore. We all wake up sore, okay?
I still just rub some dirt on it.
You know what? There's times, Mark, I get up, I'm trying to get an Uber to go to the bathroom. I'm like I wonder if I can get a Uber to take me like 2 feet to the bathroom. We all wake up sore. But that's the part, that's what it's all about in this game. You're not going to be 100% all the time. You got to be able to get tough and, you know, like Tim said, rub some dirt on it. Like it's a personal pride thing. Like, God, you hear Michael Jordan talk on the NBC about missing games and load management. You know, people listening to him, that's reality. That's what every player in the 90s and the 2000s were thinking. You try to
get off Stacey's lawn.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. It's true.
Yeah, smelling salts.
I'm just telling you, America, it'd be a different story. I'm telling you, if they got a little tougher.
Well, we're now in the month of December. December 15th is the unofficial start of the NBA's trade season. If you don't follow the league closely, anybody who signed as a free agent over the summer is eligible to be traded on December 15th. Most of them. Some of them are in January, but for the most part, 85 to 90% of the players in the league can be traded after December 15. The Bulls have about half their roster with expiring contracts. You look at guys like Nikola Vucevic and Kevin Huerter and Kobe White. I mean, you anticipate there could be some roster shuffling coming up?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, trust me. Especially with the way they're playing right now. Like, and there are some appealing guys that teams would want. You know, I can see somebody going after Zach Collins. I can see somebody going after Kevin Huerter. You know, Kobe White, you know, I can see somebody making a play for him.
About Vooch.
I don't know. If he continues to play the way, if he would have played like he's been playing in the beginning, when they were 5-0 and he was, you know, really, really playing well, I think he would have really helped himself. I think with the way he's been playing lately, you know, and the defense and you know, the detail of the defense, I think that hurts him because, you know, he wants to go to a winning team. He wants to go to a team that has a chance to win. In order to, if I'm Billy Donovan, and I'm telling Vooch this, Vooch, we know you want to go. We know you want out. We know you want to go on a winning team. So you ask me, how can I get to a winning team? It's not by scoring double-doubles. It's not by that. That's great. You know, but a lot of times those are empty calories. If we're not winning and they're not translating the wins, it's empty calories. You know, are you blocking shots? Are you able to switch and at least give us effort defensively to stay in front of a guard? And if you get beat, can you block a shot? You know, show teams that you can move your feet. Show teams that you can get out there and actually guard people and give it effort. If you do those things, you're going to be a lot more appealing than just a guy that can shoot threes or a guy that gets 10 rebounds a game. Because they already got a center on their team. Most likely, if you go to a playoff caliber team that's going deep runs, it's obviously already got somebody in that role that's a scorer. You're going to probably be coming off the bench unless you go to like a Golden State or something where they'll plug you in there. But most likely you'll be coming off as a reserve like Valanciunas is in Denver. So you got to tighten up your defense. You got to put effort in defensively if you really want people to take you seriously as a guy that a missing piece that could take a team somewhere.
One more Bulls note before we move on and talk a little football. I was calling the game, the Windy City game, that Noah Asenge got injured.
Yeah, talk about that, Mark.
And he came back in after his shoulder. He was going up for a rebound, kind of got pulled back. And it was they called it a contusion at first, and then they upgraded it to stretching ligaments and in order to try to stabilize the joint. he's going to have a surgical procedure. He was injured on Friday. He came back on Sunday, and we got word just before game time that he wasn't going to play, and he was there signing autographs and being a good teammate. And then we find out on Wednesday that he's going to have surgery and miss his entire season. Here's a kid who won't turn 19 for a couple of weeks. The thing he really needed to do was build up his upper body. Now he's losing all that time in the weight room. I mean, this is a killer because he hadn't been playing for the Bulls. He was finally getting some run at the G League level, and now he's losing that whole year of development, which is really gonna hurt his development.
Well, this could be the process. This could be a red shirt year for him.
Yeah.
To get himself healthy. Get some leg strength because he can still work his legs. He can work his lower body. It doesn't always have to be his shoulders right now. He can work his lower body, get stronger in his legs because that's an area he has to develop too.
Yeah.
And so he has all this time to work on that, get stronger where he can finish around the basket. He's much more explosive because he has to be much more explosive playing the position that he's currently playing. We don't know, is he a 3? We don't know if he's a 4. We haven't seen enough of him. We just know he's young and he's got upside. I was disappointed that he got hurt because I've been pushing for him to play all year long. I think when you draft a kid in the top 15 in the first round, I just think all first rounders, unless you're Oklahoma City and you don't have a place for him, that's the only place you really can't play. Or if you come in as a center and you're playing in Denver behind Jokic, yeah, I can see your minutes being cut. But when you come to a team that's got young players, it's a play-in team. There's no established hierarchy on the team. He should be playing. He should be out there, learning. I was watching, Brooklyn. They played 4 or 5 rookies yesterday.
Yeah, they made 5 first-round picks.
Yes,
last
and
year.
they all were playing. And the Denham kid is going to be a good player. And he was playing point guard. He's struggling. He's going to have some ups and downs this year, but he's learning on the fly. He's getting that game experience. He's able to make mistakes and not get yanked out if he gets a mistake. They're letting him play through. The Wolf kid. If y'all didn't see Danny Wolf
he played well
at Michigan, he was a stud. And watching him play last night, because I was wondering when he was at Michigan, I thought he'd be a good NBA player with his skill set and his versatility. Having a kid 6'10", 6'11", be able to handle the ball the way he does, to be able to pass in small circles. Like if I'm a scout, I'm looking at that kid and going, that's a unique talent. He's a big kid, 6'11". He's like 260. He moves very well. He can get to quick spaces very quickly with the dribble. He can see the floor. He can shoot it. He can pass it. He made a couple of passes, wraparound passes around, the defender last night. I was like, man, if this kid can develop like I think he can, Brooklyn's gonna have a nice little squad in the future.
Well, let's look at what's coming up for the Bulls. They've got a game on Friday against the Indiana Pacers, another home game. Then the Golden State Warriors come in on Sunday without Steph Curry. Steph Curry's not making the road trip. He will not be at the United Center on Sunday. And you go to Charlotte on Friday after 4 days off because of the NBA Cup schedule, and then you've got the New Orleans Pelicans on the 14th. So, again, you look at the schedule, you're thinking, well, this is a chance to win some games, but they haven't taken advantage of that at all.
Mark, I'm over the looking at the schedule and going, oh, this is a win. This is a win.
Well, yeah, you can't do that anymore.
We do this every year. We look at games that they should win. They beat the teams they're not supposed to beat, and they lose to the teams that they should kill. When you're playing 3 or 4 win teams and you're losing and you're giving these guys career highs and they're doing extraordinary things that they haven't done all year against you. The thing is, like, you don't want to be a team that is struggling going in and then the Bulls are your get right team where they like, okay, we struggled for the previous 4 games and now we're coming in, we got a get right game. We got the Bulls. You don't want to be that team.
And the Nets are celebrating like crazy because they won 2 games in a row.
Every team is like that. I mean, they should have beat Indiana. They should have never been in that situation where Siakam
they're up by
the game
15 in Orlando.
and they're struggling. Their confidence is down too. You can just tell they're not as confident as they were. Giddy is playing Giddy. He's doing his thing. Everybody else needs to catch up because he's starting to establish himself as the main guy on the team, even with Kobe there. He's starting to establish himself. This is my team. There were some plays in that game against Brooklyn last night that you could just tell the frustration. He's just tired of waiting for guys. Like, you don't want to play, I'm just going to take it.
Well, he said after the game that teams have figured us out. We can't just win by playing fast. We got to be able to do something else.
It's not even about playing fast. They're still up there in the top 10 in efficiency and pace. It's defense. they figured out that you don't play defense. They don't care about your offense because you can score. They still scored 120, 130 points. They still score 50 points in a quarter. They can still do those things on a consistent basis. Their bench is not playing as well as it was playing. They were the second best bench in the league. They're not playing as well. And then they figured out that you can't guard people. They figured out you don't box out. We can get second chance opportunities. We don't have to run out and get back on defense because what happens, Mark, is if you want to slow a team down, offensive rebound. If you want to slow a team down in pace, that means every single possession you have to send the small forward, power forward, and center to the offensive glass. Because if you send all three of those guys to the glass, that means three people they can't get out in transition. That means Modest has to box out. That means Okoro has to box out, and Vooch has to box out. So that takes three guys out of transition. So now you only got 2 against 2 on the other end. So your pace is destroyed, basically. And so when you're getting second chance opportunities because the Bulls are leaking out and running out trying to get on the fast break, they're getting offensive rebound putback. 45 points offensive rebounds, 45, 50 points in the paint. It's a recipe for disaster.
We'll see what happens. A lot of interesting games coming up, and we will bring it all to you on Gimme the Hot Sauce. We're going to talk some Bears next, but first, I want to tell you about one of our great sponsors, our good buddy Jeff Vukovich. When it comes to being treated like royalty, contact Jeff. He'll take care of all your insurance needs, auto, home, and business. You can reach him at jeffvuk.com. Phone number 847-825-4783. And I saw that you tried to give Wayne another chance. He tried to freelance on it a little bit.
He's fired. He was awful. He tried to have a little soul.
Yeah.
And you know what? I didn't want to hurt his little feelings. You
were very nice.
I was very nice.
Kind,
Normally
yeah.
I'm a little harder, because I'm a hard teacher. He came with a little soul. I gave him a little love. Like, hey, you're getting better. But deep down, I was like, you still suck. And we're not doing this anymore. You've been fired. You're no longer in the Jackson 5. You're the Jackson that stays home. So he's fired.
Show him how it's done, Stacey.
Nationwide is on your side.
Nicely done. Stacey King on Gimme the Hot Sauce. Make sure to contact our friend Jeff Vukovich. He'll take care of all your insurance needs. Bears talk next on Gimme the Hot Sauce.
Bear down.
Well, after all that basketball negativity, let's talk about something positive. That would be the first place Chicago Bears leading the NFC right now with a record of 9-3. A huge game coming up at Lambeau Field on Sunday against the Green Bay Packers in the frozen tundra. Let's bring in our Bears analyst, Glenn Morgan, as Cisco puts up a graphic. Hey, there he is, Glenn Morgan. How you doing? Good to see you. Hey, it's been an amazing story. Nationally, it's really picked up some legs now with the Bears, and they play their old rivals. They'll play them twice in the next 3 weeks, which probably will decide the division champion. What are your initial thoughts on the matchup, Glenn?
Wow.
Yeah,
Didn't
wow.
see this one coming. As Bear fans, we've been so traumatized, Bear PTSD, so to speak. It's crazy and it's cool at the same time. And now everyone's expectations are raised and everyone's excitement. And I tell you what, this game coming up, they already flexed it to the afternoon game for the nation to be able to watch. And I think we were all going to be in store for one hell of a game for sure.
Well, I tell you what, Glenn, I've been on the bandwagon all year. I told you. I said there's a strong possibility this team is going to be better than what people thought. People laughed at me because we do it every year. We push our chips in. They were 7-10 one year, and we were like, they easily could have been had a better record. So we didn't give up on them. And you heard that theme song they played. Bear. I think it's called Bear Down. I think it's called. You heard it?
Something like that. Yeah, I think I did. Yeah.
Man, I ain't gonna lie.
I've heard so many different.
Let me tell you something. No. This should be the new anthem.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That got me pumped up. That I just wanted to tackle somebody. Okay. That theme song. They got back to what was the Bears 85 song? We Are the Bears.
Super Bowl Shuffle.
Okay. It blew that completely out of the water. That no longer gets played now. That new theme song. We need to find that, Cisco, we need to find that theme song and play it because that's the new theme song for the Bears. Matter of fact, if the Bulls start winning again, I'm going to have that guy make a theme song for the Bulls. But right now, we don't need a theme song. We need to play some defense. Talk a little bit about
For
this team,
sure.
though, because people still don't think there's a lot of confidence in Caleb Williams. They think that he's had some good games and there's been
Mhm.
plays in games where he hasn't made. It's almost like they're waiting for him to fail. They're
Sure,
waiting for
of
him to
course.
say, okay, that game is coming soon. They thought it was going to be the Eagles. Oh, they hadn't played a winning team. And he did just enough to win the game. He's doing it just enough to move the ball, to move the chains. The running game really exploded against the Eagles. That was big.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how
Mhm.
consistent that can be, but talk a little bit about Caleb Williams and what he's done so far.
Well, the great thing about Caleb is that he's maintained his focus and he's improved. Although it may not show statistically, his passing percentage is around 58%. So, yeah, people will look to that. But it's the effectiveness, and there's so much more to quarterbacking than throwing the ball and someone catching it, you making spectacular plays. And it's those things, it's the essence of quarterbacking that he's learning. He's becoming so much better and adept at. And it's allowing the team as a whole to be better effectively. Yes, there's some things they need to do and improve upon. Of course, this is his first year in the system with Ben Johnson. Even Ben Johnson alluded to that most recently, saying he's not happy with the passing game as a whole, not necessarily Caleb, but everyone running the routes, pass blocking, so on and so forth. And they're still winning. That's the great thing about it. And what it proves, Stacey and everybody else, is that coaching matters. And we're seeing the difference between last year's regime with pretty much a lot of some of the same players and this current regime in terms of how this coaching staff is incorporating everyone and everyone is progressing incrementally and this team is winning as a team.
Micah Parsons has really lived up to the billing in that big trade with the Cowboys before the season. He ranks near the top in
Yeah.
quarterback pressures, sacks, all the key statistics. But they always say if you want to neutralize a pass rusher, run right at him. And the Bears had a couple of
Yep.
100-yard rushers in the game against the Eagles. Can they be successful running at Parsons and that Green Bay defense?
They can be. They may not be able to do it the exact same way that they did against Philadelphia because it's on film now. So they saw the crackback blocks and they saw the double teaming and that such. But Ben Johnson's been really good at adjustments in game and also preparation wise. And I think you're going to see that. And attacking Micah Parsons is one thing, but right now they're kind of a donut hole in the middle with some of the injuries that the
Right.
Packers have on their interior defensive line, and that plays to the Bears' hands. If you look right now offensively, statistically speaking, I'm not a big statistic person, but people like to hear that kind of stuff. The Bears right now offensively are a little bit better than Green Bay. Green Bay's better passing, about maybe 30 more or so yards than the Bears. But the Bears rushing statistically are over 400 yards more than the Packers. And that speaks to exactly what the Bears have been doing and that identity they've been forging. And right now, when it comes to matchups, that favors the Bears. And I've always said this, that in the NFL, when you play somebody, when you play them, makes as much a difference as who you're playing. And right now, catching someone who has a problem in the middle of their defense, when you're bullying people and you just bully one of the best defensive fronts in all the NFL, I think that speaks to the Bears' favor.
I tell you what, Glenn, I'm a big believer. You're a product of your environment. You take the personality of your coach. Okay.
Sure.
So if you have a coach that's kind of like chill, those kind of coaches do well with veteran players, not younger players, because the younger players need to have you chew them out sometimes. They need you to hold them accountable. You need to teach them how to be pros. A veteran already knows all. They've been, you can get a chill coach, and like Andy Reid, he's a veteran coach. Guys love playing for Andy Reid because he's a veteran coach, and you can see how the Chiefs play. He's not going to get in your face, but when he does get in your face, it means something. Now, what I've seen with
Exactly.
Ben Johnson, and I've seen throughout training camp, was that one, they're holding the players accountable this year. Okay, there's no excuses. Do your job. Okay, and they're holding them accountable. Okay. But what I've also seen is the energy that these coaches have with these players. Like from, Randall L. I mean, you saw in the training camp how
Yes.
fired up he was.
Yes.
Bianchi. All these guys
Bianchi.
were so much energy as coaches. The players have gravitated to that. Whereas when you had Eberflus, who was, really like, kind of like, I don't want to say he was like a substitute teacher. Because, when you're in high
Housing.
school, when you're in high school, you can't go to the bathroom 100 times when your teacher's there. You can't chew gum. You can't talk. But when you get a substitute on Friday, It's all bets off. I get 5 hall passes. I'm walking around going to the bathroom 5 times, but I'm not really going to the bathroom. I'm just going around and harassing all my friends in other classes that have to sit there
Right.
on a Friday, okay? So you get away with a lot more with a person with that kind of personality. So that's what I'm saying. Like when you look at the Bears this year, and you see Ben Johnson come in, he's pumped up, he's ripping his shirt off, he's flexing, Bianchi getting on guys, Randall L going out there showing guys how to do things, and he can still do things at his age. That's impressive. Right. And they've taken that personality, and I think that's really helped them this year. Do you think that is true?
I think what you're speaking to is the authenticity of the whole coaching staff, Ben Johnson, everyone else included. And what we see in a celebratory manner after a win is one kind of energy, but we're not there in Hallis Hall throughout the week. And I guarantee you it is business and there's focus. And like you said, the accountability and the stoicism that you see on the sidelines is probably magnified in the halls of Hallis as they're going about, learning and preparing for the next team. And so I think the team is seeing the full dynamic of the personality that you spoke to in terms of Ben Johnson, but also, as a collective for the coaching staff as well. So it's position coaches, it's the coordinators, and it's the head coach, all in totality. And what we see out on the field is the players exemplifying everything that they've been ingesting throughout the entire week. And that consistency has paid fruit throughout this entire season, even with the close games against the questionable teams. The Bears won those games. And it reinforced everything that they learned the week before, the week prior, the week going into it, and so on and so forth. To the point that when they played Philadelphia, that was a very confident team that took the field. That was a very confident team that even when it was 10-9 and Caleb throws the interception, okay, all right, move on. And to where they dominated the fourth quarter. And so I think what Green Bay is going to face isn't anything that they faced before in the last, Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers, 30-year, stranglehold that they've had over this division and particularly over the Bears. I think they're going to see a different kind of animal. And that animal is a grizzly bear, not just your regular cubby bear.
Well, one coach we haven't mentioned is the defensive coordinator, Dennis Allen. I can tell you from being in the locker room and interviewing some of the defensive guys, they just have a ton of respect for what Dennis Allen has done, not only in previous stops, but what he's done most importantly with this Bears defense. When you look at Green Bay, Jordan Love has good statistics overall, but one of his weaknesses is he kind of loves that 50-50 ball. Just throw it up for grabs and hoping his guy can get it. Well, the Bears lead the NFL in turnovers. Is that a formula for winning the game, picking off some of those 50-50 balls that Love likes to throw?
I completely expect Jordan Love to throw 1.5. That's the over and under, 1.5. Take the over.
Yeah, take the over too.
Because we've, and now like I said just a few moments ago, it's when you catch a team. And right now, Green Bay is catching the Bears when the secondary is as healthy as it's been the entire year. And they were making all these interceptions and turnovers in the secondary before Jalen Johnson came back. And Deshaun Wright has pretty much played himself into a contract, whether it's with Chicago or somebody else. He's got a nice payday coming, but I think he also has a Pro Bowler probably coming up as well. And right now, I don't know whose side you throw to. I don't know what 50-50, because he's 6'3" with long arms. You may not want to test him. The secondary is hitting, and Byard is out there catching any deflection. So, yeah, I think that, again, what could be a strength for Green Bay plays into the strength of the Bears. I think the Bears' strength plays to a weakness right now that Green Bay is facing within the interior of the defensive line.
Well, this is a huge game, and it's a mental game because, as we know, Green Bay had owned the Bears. Caleb did win. Caleb did win in Green Bay, right?
Yeah, last game
here.
He
won.
Last game.
So he's got to be confident going in there. I think the key for them is just to put all that, all that other losses behind them, because most of those guys weren't there for all those losses, and just focus on, taking care of the football, limit their penalties, and just smash them. Just smash them, because that two-headed running back they threw up against the Eagles, to run the way they did, that was impressive. Because if you'd have told me they would have got almost 300 yards between the two of those guys against the Philadelphia Eagles, I would have said there's no way in the world. No way in the world with that front four that Philadelphia has. There's no way they're going to run for that. And so it's starting to reminisce. It's starting to bring back memories of what Ben Johnson was doing in Detroit with the two backs. The difference is that the little guy, he's powerful. Like he's not a home run hitter. He's a guy that seeks contact and he gets yards after contact. They don't have that home run guy like Detroit has with the running back. What's his name?
Jameer Gibbs.
Jameer Gibbs. I mean, Gibbs can go 70 yards with bam, he's gone. They don't have, but they got two guys that they can run between the tackles and that can punish you and still be able to get 20, 30 yards. May not be able to go for 50, 60, but they can get 20, 25 yards and move the chains.
Well, no doubt. And then they're effective. And the great thing about, and this is what I said, Ben Johnson and the coaching staff has done such a great job in adjustments. Earlier in the season, the first couple, maybe 2, 3, 4 games, it's like they're banging their head against the wall when they're running the ball. And it's like Swift, people were down on him. I'm like, well, they've got to find a way. He's more perimeter oriented, but they've got to find a way that when he's in there, he can still kind of flash in the, for the inside run so that defenses don't just say, okay, this is the perimeter guy, this is the interior guy. And they've done that. They've done it with the blocking schemes, and they've allowed Swift to be able to do things where he can navigate. His vision is such good with his vision, especially when he finds the smallest of creases and is able to exploit those. And Mononga, his vision is getting better, and he's a rookie, so you understand that. But like you said, he's not afraid of contact. So he's like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna go as far as I can and take whoever's with me. And he's done that a few times. And the confidence, once again, once you have a confidence in what you're doing and how you're doing it, and you're no longer thinking about what you have to do, you can just be who you are. That's when the coaches are allowing the players and putting them in positions to succeed. And we're seeing that week in and week out. And I tell you what, I mean, this team, it goes to the mantra, the better, best mantra. I believe the Bears, as much as they're focused on the next game, I think they're even more focused on being better for the next game, whoever they face. You know what? Regardless, we're going to be better than we were last week. And we're seeing that. And I think that's going to play itself out in the coming weeks. We're certain. I'll tell you what, real quick, just to make you guys feel better, it's kind of a karmic thing. When the Bears won the Super Bowl in '85, and I'm not saying we're necessarily going this year, but when they won the Super Bowl in '85, it was my senior year in high school. Yes, I'm telling myself how old I am. But my high school also went to the state championship. Now, they got smashed by East St. Louis, but they went. Just yesterday, my high school won the state championship. And right
Fenwick?
now in the AFC,
you went to Fenwick?
No.
Brother
Rice,
Rice,
sir.
Brother Rice?
Brother Rice. Hail our Crusader team, yes.
I thought you went to Fenwick because Fenwick beat East St. Louis. The East St. Louis they beat yesterday?
Yeah, that was 2 days ago. But
days ago?
they change the classes every year, so you never know who you're going to match up against.
Yeah. But Brother Rice went. We didn't win, but we went. And that year, the Bears go to the Super Bowl, and they play the Patriots. Well, guess who's the first place in the AFC?
Patriots.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, this could be a little bit of history repeating itself. You hang around long enough, get these gray beards, patterns repeat themselves. That's all I'm saying.
We go every 20
Glenn,
years.
Glenn,
We go every 20 years.
Glenn, puff pass. Puff pass. It's not gonna happen. It's not happening. Don't go back.
Crazy.
Don't reminisce, baby. Don't
There's
reminisce.
no dominant team. There's no dominant team in NFL. I'm just saying.
I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you something. 49ers are starting to look like the 49ers. Don't sleep. They're looking really good.
Hey Glenn, how about weather though being a strategy for this weekend?
It'll be cold.
If you're looking at that run game, you get a guy with they know that they're going to have Parsons in the backfield, so just start running ahead of the tackles, and let's make some contact in that secondary and start getting some people on the ground. That's what I like.
Well, when it's cold out, like you're saying, Tim, tackling it hurts more.
Right,
So
exactly.
if the Bears are with the pounding ground, then definitely let's pound and ground the Packers into the dirt and dust of Lambeau Field.
All right, Glenn. Well, we'll be watching. It'll be very interesting. They're in the. There's the song.
Did you hear it, Glenn?
I can't hear it now.
Well, too bad. I can hear it. Go Bears. This is a new theme song. Go home, Trav. That's right. Go home, Trav. The guy's
There you
name.
go.
Yeah. Hey, Cisco. That's gonna be our new fight song on the Gimme the Hot Sauce podcast.
All right, Glenn.
That's a banger, Glenn. It's a banger.
Oh, for sure.
We'll see what happens at Lambeau Field in the rematch in a couple of weeks. That game was moved to prime time, so it's going to be on a Saturday night, December 20th at Soldier Field, round 2 between the Bears and the Packers.
Saturday
on
night.
Fox.
I get to watch it.
7:20
Yes.
kickoff.
Get to watch it.
It's going to be a lot of fun over the final 5 games, and Glenn will be here to help us analyze everything that's going on with your favorite team, the Chicago Bears.
Oh, wait a minute. Dun, 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 dun. Breaking news in the fantasy football world. The mighty Crenshaw Mafia went down to Glenn. Dude, you beat me this week, Glenn.
I did. I
You beat
did. I
me.
was gonna throw something out there, but thank you.
No. Listen, I'm a man.
Miracles can
Listen,
happen, baby.
listen. If I lose, I got the same energy when I win. Okay, so you beat me. I looked at it. I said, I can't believe I lost to him. I'm like the number one team. I've lost 2 games. I've lost 2 weeks in a row. I'm reeling right now.
wow.
I'm reeling right now. I got to
Like
get ready
Eagles,
for the playoffs.
Like the Eagles.
Oh man, I'm telling you, I was disappointed. I saw who it was too. I was like, oh, Glenn. Glenn beat me. I thought you was gonna say something, but since you didn't say something, I brought it up. So
Yeah.
I'm a man of
Wins
virtue.
with class. Good job.
And I lose
That's right.
angry. I'm not happy about it. But if I see you in the playoffs, buddy, it's in for you.
Okay, hey, I'll see you then.
Go Sooners.
See?
We're in the
Always.
playoffs, baby. I don't know about the Vols. I don't know if y'all in the playoffs yet, baby. No, you're not.
We got beat by Vanderbilt. so
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
saying anything.
We know who runs Tennessee now. Vanderbilt does. And they just got the number 1 quarterback in the nation. Did you know that?
The Fighting
He
Will
flipped.
produce.
He flipped. He flipped Georgia. He was going to Georgia, and he flipped to Vanderbilt.
Really?
Vanderbilt pulled out that money, boy.
Wow.
Vanderbilt got money out
That's
there.
insane.
Yeah, I think he making about $8
Hey.
million.
It's crazy.
That's insane.
Yeah, he was the number 1
Hey.
quarterback in the country. He signed with Georgia, flipped, and now he's at Vanderbilt.
Wow.
Yep.
They got Will Purdue
Wow,
doing
that-
fundraisers for him.
Yeah, Will's out there. He's out there.
Yeah.
He's
No,
out-
seriously,
wait,
he is.
Will's on OnlyFans.
I believe it.
He only got 2 people buying his channel. He's showing his feet. Nobody want to see his feet. Size 22, 23 feet.
See what I mean about tangents?
Oh,
Every
boy.
now and again, we
Hey,
just go off the
Will,
rails.
you know I love you, boy. You know I love you. We family, boy.
All right, Glenn, we'll talk to you soon, all right? Be well. Enjoy
All
the
right, fellas,
game
have a great
Sunday
one.
at Lambeau
Stay
Field.
gold, pony boy.
Hey, you mentioned college football. The conference championship games are this weekend, and I'm wondering how much longer they're going to have conference championship games. What do you think?
Don't worry about that, Mark. Your mind should be on the Sooners right now. You don't worry about anything else. It's Sooners.
But see, now it's to the point where Alabama is almost going to be in a bad situation. If they lose to Georgia, they might be out completely.
They
with a
should be
third-
out.
with a
You can't
third
get in
loss.
there with 3
Well,
losses.
now they're saying you get punished for advancing to your conference championship.
Mark, I don't feel sorry for them. If you got 3 losses, how many losses Alabama got? I think they got
They have 2, but they're playing Georgia.
If they
again.
play Georgia, it could be 3.
They beat Georgia
You
earlier.
should not be able to get into the playoffs with 3 losses.
Sound
I'm
like
sorry.
Bill Cosby there. He
Yeah.
should.
I
Jello
want
pudding
to-
pop.
I want to put it popping. No, seriously though, because my OU team was on the verge of losing 3 games,
Yeah.
and if they would have lost to Tennessee, they'd have been out. They lost to Alabama, they'd been out, and then they just beat who they beat South
LSU.
Carolina or LSU.
But they're better off not being in the conference championship
Yes,
game.
that's right.
That's my point.
But that's not my fault. That's everybody else's fault. You just don't win. Just lose 2 games. You don't have to worry about getting into the conference
Right.
championship. But that's how the presidents want it, because the presidents are trying to make money. You got money going to the conference championships. The SEC gets that big check. So of course the presidents want that until their team loses and it's out of the playoffs, and they're like, oh, we need to redo this. We need to rethink this. Because it's all fun and games in the beginning, but when you got 2 losses and possibly a 3rd loss, you see those presidents going, oh man, we're not going to be able to be in the
Well,
big
if they
bowl game.
expand, once they expand to 16 teams, they may get rid of the conference championship.
They should.
Because Tim, you look at the Big Ten. You got 2 undefeated teams. Ohio State's playing Indiana, and whoever loses is still going to be in the top 4
no East,
and
West
still
anymore.
get a first round bye. So why are you even playing the game?
Yeah, stay out of it.
Yeah, all you're worried about is guys getting hurt.
Yeah,
It
there's that
doesn't
too.
do you any good.
Yeah.
Okay, we won the conference championship game. Big deal. Nobody
Yeah.
cares.
Well, listen, you don't need them.
no,
You don't need them.
Don't need them at all.
If you're going to go, if they go to 16 teams, why have a conference championship? Because the point is if we are playing extra weeks, we're taking a chance our star quarterback gets hurt. We're taking a chance that our stud running
Yeah.
back gets hurt, or our number 1 defensive end gets hurt, and that depletes our chances of winning a championship. So do away with the conference championships. There's no need for them.
Nope.
And just go out there and play, because like Indiana, there's no way in the world you can keep Indiana or Ohio State. Either one of those teams loses. You can't say, well, they lost at the end of the
Yeah,
year.
yeah.
No, because they're obviously the 2 best
Yeah,
teams.
they're both 12-0
Yeah,
right now.
they're obviously 2 best teams in the country. And Indiana looks about as dominant as you can possibly look. And if they beat Ohio State, they got to be the favorites to win it all, because
Right.
I'm telling you right now, just watching them, I wasn't a believer in the beginning. I was like, okay, this is a fluke. It's gonna come down. They're gonna crash and burn at some point.
Yeah.
When they went into Oregon, that's a tough place to play. They didn't crash and burn. They've looked dominant on both sides of the ball. When Penn State had a chance to beat them, and they made that game-winning
Yeah.
drive at the
Came
end,
back
that
at the
showed
end.
me something.
Yeah.
That quarterback who's supposed to be the number one pick in the draft. He was having a bad game. He threw some ugly interceptions. But when the game mattered, he stood in the pocket and he made the plays that needed to be made to give them the chance to win. And I'm like, if they beat Ohio State in the Big Ten championship, they got to be the early favorites to win it all.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. The final college football poll rankings will come out on Tuesday, and then we'll see what the matchups look like. Right now, Stacey Sooners are slotted in at 8.
First of all, we don't need to play Alabama again.
They
okay?
play
Just
Alabama.
Get them off.
And then your winner plays the number 1 seed.
We own them. We own Alabama, so we're not even. They're not even. Shouldn't even be there. Put somebody else. Let us play somebody else. We've beaten them 5 of the last 6 times.
Maybe play Ole Miss.
We owe them. Yeah, I would play them. Well, they don't got Lane Kiffin, baby. We got a shot.
No, Lane Kiffin, he gone.
Yeah, he's gone. We got a shot with Lane Kiffin being over in LSU. But now you got somebody. The team is depleted because some of those guys are going to jump ship and go to LSU. He's going to pay him. How about LSU giving Kiffin? This is why teams win and teams lose. LSU, to get Kiffin, promised him a war chest every season of $25 million for NIL money. How are you going to beat that?
That's what it's all about in today's game.
How can you beat that?
Yeah.
I mean, unless you're Georgia or Alabama, what other teams can guarantee that they're going to get $25 million every year that he's the coach there?
Did you see him at his press conference? He looked like somebody died. I mean, he was supposed to be a happy moment for him, and he's taken because of his career, he's gone from job to job. It's kind of like the old days with Larry Brown in basketball, just changing jobs all the time. He didn't look happy at all. And they asked him about his salary because I don't even know how much money I'm making. I'm like,
he knows.
Sure you know.
He knows. You're not leaving one place to go to another place not knowing how much you're going to get, okay? First of all, I think he likes to be in the villain. I think he likes the attention that he's getting. And I think he likes to show people like this is really affecting him when he's laughing at you on the inside like, you idiots. I know I look sad. I know I don't want to be here. But really, I'm laughing at each one. Because he always seems like he's the smartest guy in the room. If you ever listen to him talk, he seems like he's the smartest guy in the room. That's why him and Saban didn't get along at Alabama when Saban after the national championship game they left him at the at the field. He missed the bus and they left him. And that's a coach. That's your offensive coordinator. You left him. So that tells you what Saban thought of him. He's a very good coach. He's a very good offensive minded coach. His players love him. Everywhere he's been, his players love him. They hate him when he leaves. Because you make these promises to these kids saying, hey, I'm committing to you when I'm recruiting. I'm committing to you for 4 years. I'm not going to recruit over you. I'm not going anywhere. How can he go in someone's living room and say, I'm going to be here the whole 4 years? I would never I wouldn't let my kid go play for him.
Well, then he had the audacity to try to insist that he wanted to coach Ole Miss through the college football playoff after he took
because he has a chance to win a national championship to put on his resume. It had nothing to do with he's doing it for the kids.
The ego is just crazy.
It had nothing to do with I want to coach these kids. So I got him here. It was more like I want to have a chance to win a championship. And I think with the way that the system is set up, there's not really dominant teams, and Ole Miss could come in there and have some success.
I'm glad Ole Miss told him to don't let the door hit you on the way out. Tell your story.
What program would? I wouldn't want him there because the longer you give him there, let's say it's a month. He has a month to train this team. He's working those kids to come to LSU.
Right. He's trying to re-recruit
like, hey,
because everybody changes schools all the time.
Hey, LSU, we got $2 million for you.
I get you more money.
I'll get you more money.
He's already working those.
That's why you can't have him there. That's why you can't have him there.
Yeah. Well, what talks and what walks?
Yeah, no question about it. Hey, Whispers, what did you think about Pat Fitzgerald staying in the Big Ten, going to Michigan State as their new coach?
Well, I think they're going to be pleasantly surprised.
He's going to be highly motivated. That team has really descended. Michigan State, that program has really dropped.
Yeah.
But Pat Fitzgerald, in his press conference, he talked about the difference between Lane Kiffin. He was so fired up, get back in the game after being out for 3 years. This is a big deal for Fitz.
For sure, and he's going to turn it around. That's what he'll do it. The motivation, people love him out there too. Some people think he was unfairly, like myself. His case was mishandled, but
Stacey's shaking his head.
Except you know what?
You want to weigh in on this, or you're going to pass?
He's then going to go to OU.
No, we don't want him at OU. We already got our coach. We're number one, buddy. But listen, he was out of the game for a reason. Okay, I'm sorry.
He was exonerated, vindicated.
I don't care, man. There's still in my eyes. There's a dark cloud. Okay, where there's smoke, there's a fire. Listen, he's at Michigan State. He's a very good football coach. But let's be honest. Unless they're gonna, roll out the money to go get guys, they're not going to be in any better situation that they are in now as far as getting recruits, because recruiting now is not about going to the program that I want to star at this program. I want to be a great player at this program. It's who's paying me the most.
Right.
Where can I get the most money? And if Michigan State's not rolling out the money, because Michigan it is. Michigan's paying people. They paid that young quarterback, this Underwood, who's going to be a stud next year. They paid him big money to come too, and he was the number one high school quarterback. But Michigan State hasn't proven that they're willing to go and spend the money to go get the guys. They're getting guys that are maybe 3-star guys. They're not getting the 5-star guys like they used to. They're not getting those guys because they haven't had success in the last few years. So I know he's a good recruiter. It's tough to recruit at Northwestern. I mean, you couldn't get the guys that he wanted. Now he's going to be able to go into certain places and grab guys that he wasn't able to go get when he was at Northwestern. So maybe that will help him out, but still, money talks. Unless the boosters are going to find a way to say, okay, here, Pat, we're going to give you a war chest. We're not going to give you $25 million like Lane Kiffin got, but we're going to give you enough where you can be competitive in the Big Ten, and then hopefully we can get more as we go along in your
But
tenure.
that's a legacy program, and he will be able to do some recruiting because of that. And then as he turns it around, the war chest will get rolled out. Yep. And then they beat OU.
America. There's no legacy. The legacy is over. It's the money. I don't care if your daddy went there, your granddaddy, his great-grandfather went there. Legacy means nothing in today's game. In college basketball, football, it means nothing. It's the team who has the money, who has the most money, is where these kids are going. And it don't matter, like I said, it don't matter if your whole family lineage went there. If you don't got the money, if I'm the number one high school player in the country, and you're offering me, we can only offer you $150,000. And then I go over to Michigan, they say, we'll give you $3 million. Where am I going?
Yeah, that's easy choice.
I'll tell my dad, hey, I loved you. You did good at Michigan State. And tell Grandpa I love the Michigan State too. We used to go to all the Michigan State games. But I'm going to Michigan, baby, go blue.
Go blue.
That's me. I'm going for the money. Just imagine. Just imagine. I just wish my parents would have just waited. Just put me in like a little cryo cup, and freeze the embryo. And then just let me out. What year did we say, Tim? We always say this. What year did I say I come out?
We can
The
never
math
do the
is
math.
always
I want to
problem,
come out
man.
at 17. Just bring me out as a 17-year-old, like a high school senior. And let me have the same ability that I had in high school and in college basketball. Okay? Because if I would be a $5 million player. If I was the Oklahoma Stacey King in this day and age,
no
question. My God. I wouldn't even come out of school. I'd be on a 6-year program, 7-year program.
Yeah,
I'd
just keep paying me.
I'd redshirt 3 times. And you can't even redshirt 3 times. But I'd find a way to redshirt 3 times. Yeah. I'd use the COVID rule. There's some kids that have been in school like 7 years.
Yeah.
That would be me.
They finally put an end to the extra year for the COVID.
That'd be me, though. That'd be me, Mark.
Yeah.
I'd be banking. I'd be putting money away like a squirrel. Just packing it away. Boom. Have a little fun when I get out. Ooh-wee. Man.
All right, time for our regular feature. What are we watching? Stacey, start us off.
The Mayor of Kingstown.
Oh, that show is so good.
Oh.
Every week it gets better than the week before.
Oh, man. Now, I mean, listen. He's being pushed by so many people in his little town. I mean, now you got the Mexican cartel in there now. Big Bunny and his little group, the Crips, and then you got a mobster from Detroit coming in now. Yeah. His brother's in trouble, is in jail.
Got thrown in Gen
Pop. He almost got American Me. If you've seen American Me, you know what I'm talking about. He almost lost his manhood in that show because everybody's corrupt. Everybody's corrupt. The warden is corrupt. Her right-hand man's corrupt. They all are working for the cartel. Yeah. And they almost got his brother killed. Yeah. And she's basically like trying to put him. She's a cold woman. Oh, my God. Jeez. Edie Falco. Yeah. From The Sopranos. Yeah. The wife from Sopranos. Mm-hmm. She's the warden. And she does a good job. Yeah. It gets to the point where you just hate her.
Absolutely.
I hate her. I'm just like, somebody kill her, please. Like, I cannot stand her because she comes off so smug when she's talking. Yeah. And then she basically tells Mike, she says, hey, you might run this over here, but I run this prison. Yeah. And what goes on in this prison, even though Mike was in prison, he was a bigwig in prison, and he's well respected in the prison. Yeah. So she's basically telling him, stay out of it, mind your own business, I'll protect your brother. And then she's moved him to general population, basically try to get him killed. Right. And now that's going to cause a war. There's so many fires that are being started right now. You got to watch it.
Yeah, check it out on Paramount Plus. Really good show came out just recently on Netflix. It's called The Beast in Me. Claire Danes from Homeland plays the lead role. She was a author, a famous author, whose son was killed in a car accident, and she basically lost her mind after that and was looking for revenge on the other driver who killed her son in the accident. And Matthew Reese plays her neighbor, a billionaire who's just as corrupt as can be, and who was accused of murdering his wife, who disappeared suddenly. And the byplay between the two of them is just unbelievable. So check that out on Netflix, called The Beast in Me.
No, I'm gonna check that out, Mark.
Whispers, what do you got?
House of Guinness on Netflix.
Yeah, how is that?
Is that a
I had a
better
friend
beer?
recommend that.
It's great.
Yeah, it's about the
Yeah,
beer company.
I knew
it's
he'd
about the
find that
family.
show. I knew of all shows, I knew he'd find that one.
It is about beer. So what's interesting about it, the show Secession.
Yeah.
The history of the House of Guinness was part of the impetus of that, to get the idea, and it is 3 boys and a girl, and then how they're back in those days, all the things they couldn't do, but there's also a lot of conflict going on in Ireland at that time, and how they manage it all. It's very interesting.
Where's that
Well
on?
done.
Where's that being
It's
played?
on Netflix.
Okay, I'm gonna check that
And,
out.
they do that little bit of modernizing where they're playing modern music in it, and it's they keep
Has
it
it
moving.
got a Peaky Blinders?
I
feel
was
to
just
it?
getting ready to
It's
say
the
that.
same guy, same group.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Really?
So
Okay.
it's absolutely that same thing. The modern music,
Yeah.
the slowed down fight scenes where people are just getting torn apart. It's great.
Are any of the Peaky Blinder actors in there?
No.
Oh, I wish they
which
would
is
have had
too
the
bad.
brother.
Yeah.
The brother and the
Oh, yeah,
crazy
he's great.
brother.
Yeah.
I was like, I like that dude. What was his name? Alfred? What was his name? Alfred?
No,
What was his name?
that's Batman's sidekick.
No. In Peaky
Commissioner
Blinders.
Gordon.
But he was so good. He was so good at Peaky
Yeah, oh, yeah,
Blinders.
yeah.
Well, all the actors were.
Yeah.
But him specifically, because he had a love-hate with his brother. He loved
Yeah.
his brother, but he was the oldest of them. But he also had to take a back seat to his brother, Tommy. Tommy was the younger brother.
Killian Murphy.
Cillian Murphy. But what was his name? And when he took over the bar, and he said, "This establishment has been taken over by the Peaky Blinders." And he beat up the bar owner. It was like the coolest scene. Like, he just walks in there with his little Peaky Blinder guys, and they got like blades in their hats, and they're hitting people. I was like, man, this is pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then they just took over the whole bar, and he was awesome. I'm glad they didn't kill him, because I would have been sad if they killed him.
So
And if you didn't watch it,
Yeah.
hey,
check it
he
out.
didn't
It's still
die.
available.
He didn't die. It's still
Peaky
available.
Blinders, yeah. Before we get out of here, we want to tell you about a special event coming up. Is it okay for me to mention this, Cisco? Can I go ahead and mention this? Yeah, we're going to do our show on the road next week.
On the road again.
Saturday, December 13th. We're going to round up the whole crew and our microphones and our audio board and pray to God that it works. We're going
It's
to
the
go
first
to
time. It's the first time
Bigger's
we're-
Mazda. Which location are we going
Yeah.
to? Whispers?
I don't know the address.
Oh my God!
So how can we promote something?
And we don't
And-
know.
and
Let's do a quick look up here.
I mean, that's your guy.
Well, you look it up.
Well, doesn't mean I know the address.
Oh my God!
Well, which location?
Yeah,
which
which
community
location?
is it in? That's all that we need
I
to
believe
tell
that's
folks.
Elgin.
Is that the one off Randall Road?
Yeah,
About a strip club?
exactly.
This is
Juicy
what you
Fruit.
call dying on a
Yeah.
live taping.
Oh, hey, but you know what? No,
Yes,
seriously.
it is Elgin.
Okay, tell the folks
Go
how they
ahead.
can find us. Where is the location?
2100 North Randall Road.
There you go. That's
Yes.
what they need to know. If you want to come
Yes.
on out, buy a car. Stacy will pose for pictures and sign some autographs. He's
Plenty
a
of
friend
hot sauce.
friend of the family. You know,
Yeah.
man of the
That's right.
people.
Man of the people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be there.
We're gonna put him
I'll
on me.
listen, America. I'll just be getting back from Charlotte.
Yeah.
It'll probably be 2 a.m. But you know what? I'm a man of the people.
That's right.
I'm gonna show up and I'm gonna have bells on. I'm gonna smile and greet everybody.
And you
we'll
will
have
have
hot
bells
sauce
on,
there. And you know what? You know what's really cool? Because we haven't been mobile in so long. It's been what, a couple of years now?
Yeah.
Yeah, we used to go on the road all the time. We were struggling. We were struggling
guy, John
podcasts.
Walsh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were struggling
Out in
podcasts. So we had
Gurnee.
to go out there like we had to go out there and sell ourselves, baby. We were like rappers selling our demo tapes out of a trunk. We were just playing anywhere they take us. You know, we had the gold microphones. We had everything. We had like the pimp cups. We did whatever we had to do. We had side shows going on. So I'm just happy that we're an established podcast now and we're giving back to the people. We choose to go on the road. We don't have to go on the road, but we choose to go on the road. Before we had to go on the road, but we don't have to do that now, America. We kind of big time. Thanks to you guys. If it wasn't for you guys, we wouldn't be. Look at this palatial studio here. Look at this. We're just so blessed. We're so blessed. And this man right here, this guy. Oh, we got pizza. Oh. This is.
I think it's time to wrap it up, Stace.
Come on in.
Food is here.
Come on in. Hey, Here's the pizza guy. Come in here, pizza guy. Come on around the back so they can see you. Where is this pizza from? Lumen, what's your name?
What's your name? All right.
This is Matt, our pizza guy.
Mad Max.
Man,
he
he didn't get lost. Normally, people get lost when they try to find a studio. So he's getting some airtime on the Gimme the Hot Sauce podcast. Yeah, he found it with no problem. Thank you very much.
So Whisper's got to go and pay the man. So we're going to wrap it up. Remember, Saturday, December 13th, we will be at Biggers Mazda. The show starts at 11, a live taping of the Gimme the Hot Sauce
Hold up,
podcast.
Mark. One more thing.
2100 North Randall.
One more thing.
1100 North Randall Road.
America, if you own a pizza shop and you just saw us deliver pizza, hey, we don't turn nothing down but our collars. So if you want to give us free pizza, deliver it to us at the show.
Or sponsor the show.
Yeah. We will be happy to promote.
We might even do a show at your pizza
at your pizza
location.
joint.
You never know.
Yeah, you never know. So, hey, like I said, we don't turn nothing down but our collar. Pop, pop.
All right, until that show at Biggers Mazda, Stacey.
Drive home safe in Chicago. Beep, beep.
He didn't come for the massage, he came for the facial. Don't shoot him. Does anybody know how to post videos to Facebook? There's a block party reminder to get the invitation. That's a huge three. Mustard. Lonzo left alone. Gimme sauce. Able to swerve, bend that corner. That's the last time I'm going to say it. Williams straight on. Giannis.